Redevelopment Commission meeting of November 20th, 2023. Just one piece of housekeeping initially. Bob Beaudry sent me an email. He will not be here this evening, nor will he Zoom in, so we'll have only the other commissioners that are present. John, if you'll take roll, please. Here.
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 Okay, I haven't heard anything from Mike, so. And Bob Beaudry will not be here, yeah. Okay, we have a quorum, John, thank you. Okay, first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes for October 16th, 2023 at our last meeting. Marla, there's just one item I caught at the very tail end here under Q3 investment. I think maybe if we add the word report, the investment report that you presented was uploaded to plans and reports. And with, I think, that modification, there wasn't anything else. I don't think that was inaccurate or incomplete.
Okay, happy to fix it for you and can reflect that if you guys want to amend it in your motion. I'll make sure it happens.
Okay, we have a motion for approval of the minutes with the minor modification.
So moved.
Okay, I have a second.
Linda Nass, second.
Okay, we have a motion by Doug Holtz, second by Linda Nass for approval of the minutes of the October 16th meeting. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. John, if you'll take the roll, please.
Joe Plankus.
Aye.
Jill Doyle.
Aye.
Doug Holtz.
Aye.
Linda Nass.
Aye.
Okay, we have a approval, 4-0, thank you. Next item on the agenda are the claims for 11/20. Are there any questions, comments on the claims from any commission members?
There was one item on the claims, the annexation or condemnation, I believe it was. Could we have just a brief explanation of that? Yeah, the Ackerson condemnation.
Yeah, certainly. So back in 18, when we extended Ditch Road in that Eagletown TIF funded project, the secondary project of that was the intersection improvement of 32, this on the south side with the addition of the signal. We started the acquisition process back in 18. It just made it to jury trial about a month ago. So we're settling up the fees associated with that settlement through the court.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah, long process.
5 years, wow.
okay, thank you.
Is this the final amount then, Jeremy, what we're seeing here? I think it was
Yes.
25.
That 25,000 that's legal. You will see the actual settlement amount for the land cost, which is substantially higher than that once it gets processed.
And what fund will that come out of?
The Eagletown TIF.
This
Just-
one, TIF?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It'll come out of the same TIF that supported the project.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Jeremy. Any other questions on claims? If not, I'm looking for motion for approval. So moved. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Jill Doyle, motion by Jill Plankus. John, please take the roll.
Linda Nass.
Aye.
Doug Holtz.
Aye.
Jill Doyle.
Aye.
Joe Plankus.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Okay, Matt, you're up for Grant Park agreements. Any questions from commission members on Matt's monthly Grant Park agreement list?
I don't think,
Nothing? Okay. Look for a motion for approval.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Doug Holt. So I have a second.
Linda Nass, second.
Okay, thank you, Linda. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. John, if you'll take the roll, please.
Jill Doyle.
Aye.
Joe Plankus.
Aye.
Linda Nass.
Aye.
Doug Holtz.
Aye.
Okay, we have a 4-0 vote for approval. Thank you very much. Next item is 3132 Investors LLC Property Sale Update, Birch Dalton. Anybody here for Birch? Let me just cover, Birch and I have had some conversations, so guess I'll fill in for Birch tonight. He is in the process of selling a piece of property, which is basically the balance of the property north of the woods and west and south of the library. With that, he will, in essence, be refinancing his loans, and part of that will be to have our remaining $500,000 RDC fee paid, which would then make a total of $600,000 that we've received. Original agreement was for $460,000, so we did some negotiation at the last go-around a while back, and that will then come forward. So that's a sale of 15 acres of ground, and he's looking for approval to be able to sell that based on the agreement he has with the RDC. So what we need is a motion for approval of the sale, that he can go ahead with that. And Manny, is there anything else that we need to cover?
No, I think that's right. It's making good on the standby land transfer agreement. So if part of the motion would be that the approval is based on the terms of that agreement, that would be sufficient, I think, for him to present to the mayor.
Okay.
This is asking for a 2-year maturity extension. So when does that put us? To what date?
Well, I don't think we would be a part of that because our fee would be paid in full at that point. So it's part of his negotiation or part of the terms that he would be moving forward with the refinance with. So I don't think we need to have that part approved. I don't think it
Okay.
affects our,
Well,
as
this
long
is
as
all we
long
had,
as he,
so-
yeah, no, that's a
Right.
good question. As long as he pays that at closing, we don't have a problem with it. So if you
Okay.
want to specify that in the motion or in a comment, that would be perfect.
Okay, thank you, Manny. I'm open for motion for approval of the sale of the property by Mr. Dalton.
So moved with motion?
Okay, I'll second that motion. So, John, if you would, take the roll, please.
Sure. Joe Plankus,
Aye.
Jill Doyle,
Aye.
Doug Holtz,
Aye.
Linda Noss.
Aye.
Okay, motion is approved 4-0. Thank you very much. Next item is Matt Trinian, you're up for your Grant Park Sports Lighting Agreement.
Good evening, Commission members. Matt Trinian on behalf of Grand Park. Before you today is an agreement with the Musco Sports Lighting Group for the addition of sports lights on 4 additional diamonds on our campus. I've had the pleasure of talking to each one of you ahead of this meeting and got to give you guys more details. But from a summary perspective, what we're looking to do is add lights to D6, D7, D8, and D9, which would allow us to, again, light these fields for extended play. In contiguous talks with Michael Tucker with Bullpen Tournaments and his team, we feel like this is a great addition to the campus, allows us to add more teams to event play this upcoming season, to the tune of around 300 plus teams to existing tournament play just by the addition of these lights. From the financing perspective, we need to chop this up and have had some great discussions with various groups that have allowed us to create a financing model that is very favorable for a park and our perspective. So if this gets approved, the Hamilton County Sports Authority has granted us $400,000 to contribute towards this project, which we're extremely thankful for. Can't say enough about their support of this activity with the study that they're performing on a countywide scale, but they truly believe in this project and have granted us $400,000 specifically for this project. Bullpen Tournaments themselves is willing to contribute $300,000 cash towards this project. Coming to you today to also discuss a $300,000 pull from the escrow account that has been set up to support future capital like this. And then Grand Park, our budget itself would also contribute $300,000 as well. So the total project cost is just shy of $1.3 million. And with that financing model, we'd be able to cover the whole cost. The goal is to get approval for this contract today, pending legal review, which Cam has been working diligently on, and I'm sure Manny could, follow up with any questions that may be had. But the goal would be to get approval today, get under contract with Musco, so that we have the lights in play by April 1st of 2024. Pretty tight timeline, but in our discussions with Musco, they feel like they can hit that, which again would allow us to attract the teams to the marquee events that Bullpen puts on and extend play on these 4 diamonds specifically. Because I know it might come up, the escrow gets mentioned 2 times this evening. Currently, we're just shy of $900,000 in that escrow account, with this Sportlight project pulling $300,000. And then later, you'll hear us talk a little bit more about a turf replacement project on D1 and D4. This will bring our total escrow balance to $318,000 plus some change. So I wanted to just be sure that you guys were aware of where that escrow sat and how considerable, and the considerations made when approaching the escrow account. And this does not include the $285,000 addition to the escrow that will be had by the end of this year as well. So all that said, feel really good about where the escrow stands with the support of these 2 projects. I know we're focusing on the Sportlight project here, and we can get into the escrow a little bit later, but wanted to be sure that we covered that here. And then we have the agreement here, and I know there's some minor edits that we need to make to ensure that we have things like the proper date. But all in all, this is an agreement that our legal team has pulled together to approach upon with Musco. So all that said, wanted to come to you for approval for this contract, and happy to take any questions you guys may have.
I do have one question, Matt, with the lighting on the 4 fields, are there any underground utilities? I'm sure there's probably some sprinkler systems or something that will be in the way that will have to be replaced once the work is done. Are there any, fiber optic lines or anything of that sort you guys going to have to deal with?
Yeah, so no fiber optic. What we'll do is we'll mark everything ahead of the project. We have a great team that we actually met last week to talk a lot about this itself. Given the location of a lot of the poles and where they'll be going, we don't feel like we'll be impeded too much by this project, but we'll be cognizant of how it impacts the utilities that are already ran out there, and have to mark everything ahead of time and replace anything from an irrigation perspective if it gets hit. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a minor concern.
Okay.
And would you speak to what I asked about at the meeting about who's paying for the electricity?
Yes, yeah, certainly. So as with all sports lights on the Diamond side of the complex, Bullpen Tournaments is responsible for paying for the electricity, the electric bill. So, cumbersome process, but City of Westfield gets billed. We re-invoice back for that usage, and we get reimbursed back for that from Bullpen Tournaments.
Okay.
So Matt, these will be completed by April of 2024. This will allow you to add 300 tournaments per year, I assume.
300 teams, and again, that's conservative. Tuck did a great job of pulling together a spreadsheet. From a city revenue perspective, for the revenues that we receipt on the Diamond side, we estimated about $120,000 of additional revenues with the addition of these sports lights. So from an investment standpoint, I feel like it's a really good piece.
It's $120,000 per year.
Correct.
Are you working on commitments at this time, or have you received commitments already, or where?
Tuck, if you want to come up, I'll let
at
you
that point?
kind of speak to the strategy around the sales of with the addition of these lights.
Yeah, from a team perspective, we're on a wait list on 20-ish weeks right now. So for us, we're actively selling and hoping for a yes vote tonight. But we feel really strongly that we're going to be able to hit that 300 team mark. That doesn't include what we think we can add from a practices or maybe even slow pitch softball. Right. We could do men's baseball. It opens us up to far more opportunities, because currently only 9 of the diamonds are lit. 9 of our 26. This would take us to at least 50%.
15, yeah.
And from a high school side of things, that puts us at 9 of those diamonds that will be lit on that side. So
that's great.
We feel really confident in these numbers, and we do believe it is on a conservative side at 300 teams.
So it sounds like you're going to reach capacity fairly quickly. Or
Yeah, we're
adequate.
already playing at, 5 or 6 off-site high school fields every single summer weekend. So this allows us to play more games at Grand Park, creates a better experience for the team, the families, the players,
Yeah.
and our staff.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Any other questions from commission members? I'd also like to add, thank you, Blake, for your support and working through this and the funding of it. Obviously, a big thank you to Hamilton County Tourism because they have supported us from day one, way back when the Grand Park was being built, and they've continued to support us. And that is greatly appreciated and it's a win-win situation for everybody, to say the least. So, okay, if there are no other questions, I'm open for a motion for approval of the purchase and installation of the lighting for those 4 fields.
I'm going to interject and just make sure that we add in upon legal review,
Yeah,
pending
you
legal.
read my mind, because we had to do some work on Musco's original proposal, so Cam did a good job of reworking it to the point where it's close.
So you're going to do a final review through?
Absolutely. If you,
this.
yeah, because, and I'll have Matt send you the original proposal, and if you have questions, call me about some of the issues we needed to address. So yeah, if the motion could be for approval pending further legal review,
Okay,
that'd be
I will.
terrific. Thank you.
I will make a motion then for approval of this project pending legal review of the final documents for the contract.
I'll
I have a
second.
second. Okay, second by Doug Holtz. John, if you would, take a roll, please.
Doug Holtz,
Aye.
Jill Doyle,
Aye.
Joe Plankus,
Aye.
Linda Noss.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Nice job, guys, on this. I really appreciate it. Big improvement. We continue to improve the world's best sports complex. Okay,
Wind it
next
up.
item is bullpen right of entry. Matt, you want to do some opening here on that, or are we going to?
Certainly. I'll get us kicked off, and we can call upon Tuck again if we have any additional questions. So this right of entry is for the improvement of the infield turf for D1 and D4. This right of entry is identical to the one that was passed a little over a year and a half ago when we did D3 and D5. The only difference is, again, the specific diamond and then the timeline. In talking with Tuck today, if we're able to get this approved, we feel like they might be able, they as in AstroTurf, will be able to activate construction even earlier than we did during the previous project. The idea would be to do this during our off-season per se, so that we're not impacting any future play in the spring like we did a few years back. All that said, this project would be fully funded by the escrow and is to the tune of $275,512. And again, just to reference back to this summary page, I just want to ensure that you guys were comfortable or aware of where that sat. So all things considered, the goal would be to have this project done as well before April 1st of next year and not impact any play. And just wanted to come to you tonight for approval. If there are any questions, we'll be happy to take any, but feel like this is a pretty easy approval given the language of this agreement is identical to one that was passed not too long ago.
Cool. Blake, is there anything you want to add to it?
We did delay this a full. Blake Hibbler, Bullpen Tournaments. With the Sportlight project, we also delayed the turf replacement a full year. So this was supposed to be done in '23. By doing it in '24, it actually brought our cost down about 50 grand as well, with the cost of just materials and things like that. So that's why we're doing the Sportlight project now. We feel like our escrow is well-funded in that standpoint. And we think we've been able to prolong the turf additional years. So we feel really comfortable with both projects going on at the same time and do not feel like we're depleting our escrow account. If anybody feels like they want to see it or whatever, I'm happy to supply where we're at with that.
Now, with the 289 you add at the end of the year or January, that gets added to the 318.
Correct, yes.
Okay, got it.
And I would just make comment, and Blake or Tuck could back me, but through our discussions with the escrow account, we feel like the turf that will be in place after this addition or replacement will be able to surpass us or last us quite a while. I know, again, about 2 years ago, we had a pretty strong plan to replace existing turf on site, but in discussion with them, we feel like the turf that is on site currently is performing very well, and with the performance of their team taking care of all the minor nicks and dings that the turf has taken, we don't need to be as aggressive with the replacement as we once had thought. So from a longevity standpoint of this escrow, we feel like we're in a strong position, and that's why we came together and came up with this plan.
Okay, great. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Blake. Tuck. Okay, open for a motion.
So we have reviewed this, and you said it's pretty much like the last one, so all these liabilities and everything.
Yeah, Cam reviewed
Are all
this.
good, right?
Cam reviewed this today and
Okay.
gave me the okay to present this to you guys.
Great.
I went through it also, Linda.
Yeah.
You know, after the 9 pages, then the 19 got a little longer. But anyway,
I know
I
it
did
came
speak
out
with
late
Matt
this
earlier. and
afternoon, so I was rushing through.
Got my
it.
questions answered, so
Okay.
we're in good shape. So, okay. Have a motion for approval of the bullpen right of entry for the capital improvement.
So moved.
Okay, I have a second.
Second, Linda Nass.
Okay, second by Linda Nas, motion by Doug Holtz. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. John, if you will take the roll, please.
Linda Nass,
Aye.
Joe Plankus,
Aye.
Jill Doyle,
Aye.
Doug Holtz.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 4-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much.
Again, nice work, gentlemen, and keep up the facility and even grow the business even more. That's really appreciated and best utilization of a wonderful asset that we have here in Westfield. Okay, anything else before the commission, John or Manny?
Not that I'm aware of.
Jeremy, anything you need to add? Nope. Okay, we're good. We have some guests there. I see we have Danielle Tolan here today. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it, and congratulations on your future endeavor. Okay, if we have no other items on the agenda, meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.